The devil, in this context, takes many forms. It exploits the loopholes in our laws, uses gambling as a front for illegal activities, and uses a war on illegal drugs to justify the killing of thousands of innocents. My fellow co-chairs and colleagues in the Quadcom, our resource persons, and at the same time, witnesses and guests. Ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Nakita nyo naman kung gaano ka-passionate kami dito sa hearing na ito. Si Congressman Dan Fernandez po ay maaari na maging preacher later on, mga kaibigan. But I would like to mention and quote to you what a bad person said at one time. Ang sabi niya, and I quote, "The world suffers a lot, not because the violence of bad people, but because of the silence of good people." Ang sabi po niyan, mga kaibigan, ay si Napoleon Bonaparte. Before we begin the 6th Quad Committee hearing, this representation finds it necessary to reiterate our primary purpose, to uncover the truths so that we may produce legislation that will prevent the evils we have unearthed in these proceedings. We are here not only to shed light on past wrongdoings, but also to ensure that our laws will be fortified against future exploitation. There's an old saying that I quote, "The devil is in the details," end of quote. This phrase serves as a powerful reminder for us today. If we are to draft meaningful and effective laws, it is incumbent upon us to gather as many details as possible. The devil, in this context, takes many forms. It exploits the loopholes in our laws, uses gambling as a front for illegal activities, and uses a war on illegal drugs to justify the killing of thousands of innocents. Our duty here, as legislators and duty bearers, is to gather every fine detail so that we can craft legislation that will not only close these loopholes, but will also ensure that these evils can never take root again. In Ecclesiastes 12:14, it is written, and I quote, "For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil." End of quote. This passage should remind everyone that no wrongdoing can remain hidden forever. It is our role in this inquiry to bring these secrets to light so that justice can be served and righteousness upheld. We are tasked with shining light on every dark corner, leaving no detail unexamined. It is our solemn obligation to obtain the information necessary to deliver justice for the victims of pogo, illegal drugs, and extrajudicial killings, and to shield future generations from these evils. However, there are those who seek to obstruct and hamper our efforts. Let us be clear, their actions are not only detrimental to this inquiry, but also the pursuit of justice and the rule of law. We must condemn those who having been involved and having profited from these illicit activities, now seeks to hide and cover up their wrongdoings. Their attempts to evade accountability must not and should not be tolerated. They can run, hide, and use semantics to camouflage their cowardice. Ultimately, they will be exposed for who they really are: enablers, accomplices, criminals, and deceivers. Kaya sa mga tumutulong sa amin with their testimonies, their candor, and their courage, Maraming salamat po. You are doing your countrymen a valuable service. And more significantly, you are doing good deeds before God. In the face of these challenges, our resolve must remain firm. We conduct these hearings in aid of legislation because we know that without strong, enforceable laws, the evils we have uncovered will continue to drive. I'd like to remind everyone that we are a government of laws and not a government of men. We are here to ensure that no devil, in whatever guise it may appear, will be able to use gambling as a front for illegal activities, to endanger families with the spread of illegal drugs, or to carry out acts that claim innocent lives. In the end, the goodness that comes from the Lord shall prevail. Let me tell those devils who chose to attack us with demonic throws. I would like to mention what a high official said. Ang sabi po niya, you can skin us alive, burn us in the stakes, and throw our ashes with the wind, but we will remain unbowed. End of quote. And resolute in finishing this investigation until we come to the ultimate conclusion for the benefit of our people and for the sake of our country. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you, Congressman Abante.
Thank you. Maraming po salamat. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Today, as we embark on another day of hearing, discussing certain issues relating on illegal pogos that was eventually stopped by the government, and no less than the President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. Still, we heard certain areas in our country that continually operating their illegal operations. As we are continuing to deliberate in this Quad Committee, these illegal operators operating their clandestine operations without haste. Iba talaga ang kinang ng pera ng salapi sa mata ng ating mga nasa gobyerno at nagpapatupad ng mga batas. Nakakalungkot isipin na after the declaration of the President on the stoppage of this illegal pogo, meron pa rin na nahuli sa Cebu, sa Kawit, Cavite, at just recently sa Cagayan, which turned out na non-operation na, or maybe, just be notified of the impending raid of the PNP. Indeed, yung galamay ng sindikato dito sa operasyon ng pogo ay di tumitigil. Bakit kaya? Napakahaba naman ata ng kanilang PC. Napakadami naman nilang salapi that even with the pronouncement of the President on the stoppage of these pogos, still, there are certain places where pogos still exist. Hukayin po natin ang ugat ng lahat ng ito at saan sila kumukuha ng lakas ng loob upang ipagpatuloy ang mga illegal na operasyong ito. Recently, as I've heard in the discussion in the Senate, there were allegations of former Chief PNP who received payola for pogos. Is this true? Totoo ba ito? Is this the reason why operations in conducting on the stoppage of the illegal pogos in the whole country are not being implemented? Or they are just stories that need no attention for discussion? Bakit masyado ata madaming pera at bilyon-bilyon ang operasyon ng pogo? From construction of big facilities, buying of lands of certain Chinese corporations, and the financial transaction through bank exchanges of big amount of money. Kung iisipin mo, di lang talaga online gambling eh. Saka hindi lang mga scams ang involved dito, but the money being laundered in this operation are so blatant that need no deep explanation for an ordinary person to understand. Pera to ng droga. Pera to na nanggaling sa Chinese operators na gustong linisin ang kanilang pera dito sa kanilang operasyon sa Pogo. Conducting these hearings led by the four committees have not stopped these people in their illegal operations. Marami pa rin ang patuloy na nag-ooperate ng kanilang illegal na operasyon hanggang meron sa ating kapulisan at mga nanunungkulan sa ating pamahalaan at lokal na pamahalaan ang patuloy na tumatanggap sa illegal na pogo. sila na dapat na magpatupad ng pagpapatigil ng pogo must be held responsible as well. Marami pa po tayong dapat gawin. Marami pa po tayong dapat na malaman. Mahirap makipaglaban sa kinang ng salapi na bumubulag sa ilan nating kababayan upang ipagpatuloy pa rin ang operasyon ng pogo. Sa ating mga kababayan, tulungan niyo po kami. Kung meron po kayong nalalaman sa patuloy na pag-ooperate ng illegal na pogo sa inyong mga lugar, buligligin po natin o bulabugin po natin ang ating mga nanunungkulan sa ating mga bayan at mga hepe ng kapulisan na kumilos sa kanilang mga nasasakupan. And without compliance, please, report to the Quadcom and we will act accordingly. Sama-sama po tayo sa pagsugpo ng kasamaan, sama-sama po tayo sa bagong malinis na Pilipinas. Salamat po.